the legislature there. It's expected today that the new premier will announce a cabinet reshuffle. This is after Nomusa Dube-Ncube was sworn in as the new KZN premier yesterday. For a look now at the developments in that province, I'm joined by Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, who talks to us via the virtual platform. Prof, good morning to you, and thanks indeed for your time. Your quick assessment about the goings-on in KZN, particularly at governance level. Do you think that these are disruptions that are necessary for there to be some kind of stability there?
No, good morning, Butlod, and good morning to your viewers. First of all, I must say that when the new leadership led by Nomusa Dube came into office, they gave us the impression that they were not coming to rock the boat, as it were, but they were going to make sure that there is continuity and, of course, sustainability in the province. However, the moment former Premier Sihle took a decision to resign, meant that definitely changes were then going to be inevitable. And then, as if that was not enough, then with Ravi Pillay also tendering his resignation after he had failed to make it to the PEC. So those two necessitated that there should indeed be a cabinet reshuffling. And then yesterday, you might have seen that Dr. Mahlaba was also sworn in as a member of the legislature, which then gave you a hint that definitely there will be a cabinet reshuffling. We've already heard some rumors, but then these are the realities that you and I witnessed, and then definitely change is coming.
Prof, a show of unity was displayed by Sihle as he handed over the reins to Nomusa Dube at that conference. And as you say, the impression given at that time was that Dube and the new leadership would not rock the boat, but perhaps a retort from the new leadership will be that this was not forced on Sihle this was not forced on Ravi Pillay. If anything, these are decisions taken by these people, and so what are we supposed to do? We can't allow for a leadership vacuum.
No, that is absolutely correct. Interestingly, both the side of the new leadership through the leader, that is Nomusa Dube, and also the outgoing incumbents, that is Sihle and of course Ravi Pillay, they both indicated that there was no pressure exerted on them to leave office or to vacate office.
So why did they leave?
Yeah, they say they did this voluntarily. Of course, politicians will say one thing, and then you and I will read something totally different. For instance, when the former premier resigned, one of the reasons he cited was that he didn't feel comfortable because there will be two centers of power. A phrase I in fact don't accept. I didn't accept it in 2016 when they removed the sense of Mkono on the grounds that Sihle was the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, and then they said it wouldn't make sense to retain the sense of Mkono as the premier. I argued at that time, as I'm arguing now, that the issue of two centers of power is neither here nor there, because these are people who are coming from the same organization, implementing the same policies, sitting in the same PEC. Even if you are not a member of the PEC, the fact that you are still a member of the ANC means that you are implementing the same policies. So it means that the official reasons that we are given are not the real reasons. Only them know why they felt uncomfortable to leave. My speculation in the case of the former premier is that because he had failed to retain his position as chairperson of the ANC in the province, and because he had also failed to make it to the additional list of the PEC members, then he felt uncomfortable, and then he felt that it was time for him to leave. That was the main reason. Yeah. But the second reason, of course, was the issue of his relations with the former president, Jacob Zuma, where the perception, a point he also mentioned, the perception out there is that he didn't support the former president. So for me, those are the two main reasons, not the issue of two centers of power, because as I say, I don't buy that one. It doesn't make sense to me.
your reasoning around the two centers of power. You're talking the same language as the former president of the ANC, Thabo Mbeki, who I think recently repeated those very same sentiments that there's no written rule anywhere that a chairperson of the ANC in provinces that are governed by the ANC ought to be automatically the premier. That doesn't exist in any of the rules in the ANC books, at least. Prof, what happens if Siboniso Duma, who is the chairperson of the ANC in KZN right now, is included in this new executive in government that will be announced by Nomusa Dube-Ncube? Reason I'm asking that is that some people might already be thinking that if that were to be the case, Duma is there either to micromanage or to basically see to it that the things that are decided at party level are implemented by the premier at government level. Do you share those same views?
Not at all, because for one simple reason. If you have, let's start at the national level, if you have discussions taking place at Luthuli House, and then those decisions are then implemented by those who have been deployed in Parliament, there shouldn't be any problem with that. Similarly, when you go to provinces, KwaZulu-Natal, the one we're talking about right now, once the PEC has made a decision on a particular matter, then whoever has been deployed in the provincial legislature, whether that person is a premier or is an MPL, those people will be expected to implement the decisions of the PEC. So I don't necessarily believe that if Duma were to go to the legislature, then his mission will be to micromanage Nomusa Dube-Ncube, because they will be implementing the same policies. Whether he's in the parliament or he's outside parliament, they will just be implementing the same decisions. So I don't necessarily follow that line of thinking. I've heard people say that, by the way, and I've indicated that I'm not convinced that that would be the reason. They are even hinting some certain positions that Siboniso Duma is likely to hold, and they are saying that why didn't he take the position of being a premier, which is neither here nor there, because if you are not interested in power per se, but you are interested in delivering services to the people and making sure that you bring hope to the ANC, which is so dwindling in 2019 general election and again in the 2021 local government election, there should be your agenda. Anything else, you ask other colleagues to go and implement the decisions that have been taken by the organization.
Had I had time, Professor Mngomezulu, I would have asked you about the future of someone like Sihle Zikalala. He's neither in a leadership position right now, nor is he in the provincial executive of the ANC. But let's leave it there. Perhaps another day. We still have lots to chew on. The conference of the ANC coming up in December. Thank you very much, Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, there, giving us his analysis of what's going on in KZN.